We are catching up with Drinkbox Studios here at GDC, and I just learned that Severed is just days from going into to certification. Um, it's been a long road with this game. Can you tell us a little bit what you've been why it's been this long and what you've been working on and what kind of game Severed is?
Yeah, Severed is it plays like an old school dungeon crawler, so it's like combat heavy, but using touchscreen mechanics. So we were looking to do something different from doing platformers because we had been doing them for a long time, and I think the team was a bit tired. So the idea was to just this idea came up of doing something touchscreen based, something like Mike Tyson's Punch Out or something engaging like that, or Infinity Blade or something like that, but with multiple enemies around, so you get a more dynamic kind of feel to the dungeon crawling experience. And it's framed in this kind of nightmare world, so the monster design is very out there, and the themes we're exploring are very sort of introspective, with how our main character Sasha is dealing with themes of loss and that kind of stuff. So we wanted to do something narratively different, but also mechanically very challenging.
Cool. And I've been waiting for this game to come out but it slipped a little bit lately. What is it? What is it towards the end here that you wanted to give that extra polish? What have you been working on?
Well, we wanted the game to have like the pacing and how it evolves to get better and better and better as you progress. So I think we achieved that. Like the game keeps evolving, and that's something where because a lot of this stuff that we're trying is new, there's a lot of trial and error in there. So sometimes you don't know if this mechanic will hold up at the end of the game, you know. So a lot of that polishing was tuning, balancing, pacing, make sure that the player gets something new or interesting visually and mechanically at every turn. So that took sort of like a while because we've never done this before. Yeah.
What kind of scope is there for this game? How long is the adventure roughly?
It's about the same as Guacamelee. It's people are like play testers are finishing between 6 and 10 hours, if you know, and there's like tons of secrets to come back to. So if you want 100% it, then like that's some extra hours there. Yeah, so it ended up being like similar scope. I think at the beginning we were not planning of doing a game that big for us because we're a small team. But at some point we were like, we can do this like short game, really condensed, that we felt was not enough, or we can expand it and make this a title like what we did before with Guacamelee. Just ton of combat and tons of exploration and very distinct visuals. So we did the expanded version because it just looked way cooler for us and was more exciting. But yeah, almost done now. So
It's very interesting with a PS Vita exclusive because that's something that Sony have stopped doing. So there's only a few that are coming out. What can you say of because the Vita fan base is very sort of hardcore, very vocal, and what has your experience been with the sort of with fan reactions and anticipation ahead of this?
yeah, the people love the Vita. People that own a Vita just love it, and we've done really well on the Vita with the Blob games and Guacamelee. So definitely doing a touchscreen game, we also didn't want to alienate like the fan base. It's a completely different game, but it's still like a Drinkbox game, and it plays really well in the Vita. It just like made sense for us to do that, and yeah, the narrative is kind of like the Swan Song or something like that, as kind of the Vita kind of is losing a bit of support or whatever. But I'm hoping that Vita fans will like come together and like help us.
I mean, if you want more games for your Vita, you need to support the few.
That's the thing, right? And I think a lot of people actually like Vita owners actually buy a lot of games, so it just made sense for us to go this way.
And we talked about the game being just days away from certification. What does that mean in terms of a release date? I'm sure you haven't. Is it nailed down, or is it something that's still?
Yeah, it's not nailed down as far as I know, but we're in the last stretch, so just making sure that the game has no bugs and that kind of thing.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
I came in